Yo, Dre, I've got something to say. I was going to chime in on the pulse of the social media world, and I guess the media right now, all wrapped up about Neil Young not being on Spotify, the Joe Rogan, Neil Young scene. I'm going to come at it from a different perspective. I guess you can take a look at a guy like me and figure that I'm probably more of the Neil Young type of guy than a Joe Rogan guy. But I'm not going that route. This is about the vaccine and the virus and all that. And was never a fan of vaccine shaming for people who didn't take the vaccine. Stay out of that business. I'm not a fan of misinformation, and I do think it's important, but Joe Rogan's big time. There's going to be some misinformation there, just like there is in corporate media. Joe Rogan would be considered pretty corporate media. Signed what, $100 million contract there? A whole lot. So the reason I would be more sympathetic to Neil Young here would be profits over people, the problem. A friend of mine, Mark Spitzer, he's a multi-instrumentalist, plays in a band that's got a bunch of friends of mine in it by the name of Sunvolt. Great pedal steel guitar player. He was in the original band, the Blood Oranges. Great band, you should check it out. Mark Spitzer said on a Facebook post, if Neil Young, Joe Rogan, and Joni Mitchell are the reason you now feel you must cancel your Spotify account, then you really don't care how much they don't pay artists on their platform. Having a lot of friends that are musicians, especially if you're not big time, it's really kind of killed artists. To make $1, you have to have 250 streams. Neil Young's Like a Hurricane was the encore close for Jason Isbell in Louisville tonight. Hey, you people saying censorship, fuck off. This isn't censorship. This is capitalism, and capitalism working the other way. Somebody choosing not to do business with them anymore. You know, the Beatles have never been on Spotify. For another capitalism move, they're with Apple. I don't think Garth Brooks is on Spotify. Taylor Swift. You know, all that revenue of music that's made on Spotify goes to the elite, the really big time people. Spotify sided with their big money guy, Joe Rogan. And by the way, Neil Young didn't want Joe Rogan canceled. He wanted an episode taken off. Neil Young dealt with polio. Like I said, I'm not even going to get into any of that. He chose to take his music off. Neil Young, one of the best live performances ever on Saturday Night Live was Keep On Rockin' in the Free World. Dumbasses who think that it's ironic that Neil Young did that song. No, it's not. This is freedom. He had the freedom to take that off. Neil Young had that song. My favorite was Unknown Legend. She used to work in a diner. Never saw a woman finer. I love that line. I used to order just so water float across the floor. Oh my gosh, is this a music post? Regardless, get over yourselves. Quit letting this virus and this vaccine separate good people. So many good people for social justice, for black liberation, for the people, not for the elite, are are separated and going their separate ways because they've got some different feeling about vaccines. Not going to take shots at Joe Rogan, who, you know, was the replacement host on the Man Show. He's got kind of a head. You can tell he took a lot of steroids in his life. He was a bodybuilder, UFC fighter. Got into podcasts early. Very, very popular. Boy, I'd love to be a guest on his show. I could reach a lot of people. But Neil Young's going to always be Neil Young. Cortez the Killer. The Needle and the Damage Done. He's always been somewhat political. During the George Bush presidency, he had an album that not many people talk about, but the first song was, "Let's impeach the president for lying." So he's gotten involved in controversy often. He's always been a political guy. Born in Canada, if you didn't know that. I think Winnipeg. But involved in all the protest rock and keep on rocking in the free world. Just wanted to chime in. Spotify, by the way, you don't want those people to have your data. They're going to take it. They're going to have your data. And this isn't the story everybody's making it out to be. It's Neil Young out of principle pulling his shit from Spotify. Spotify's profits over people. Capitalism on steroids. No pun intended, Joe Rogan. Yo, Dre, got something to say.